All right.
This is Quinn.
This is Magnus.
Quinn.
This is Magnus.
And this is Branton.
Our only thought is to entertain you. Welcome to the Three Muski-Queers. So, how's everybody's day been, first of all?
My day's been pretty good.
Really, Quinn? Hasn't?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a really good day. I mean, I went to Quincy today, and I went to Smoothie King. I'm more of a Smoothie King guy than a tropical smoothie.
I would
And-
agree.
I kid you not, the worker there had like a gas mask on.
Oh my god.
So I went to the
Kinda
window.
Okay.
Like, you know the window where you pick up your food in the drive-through? Like I went
Yeah.
through there, and then, like it wasn't like a mask. It wasn't like a mask like doctors wear. It
Yeah.
was like a gas mask, like
An actual, like,
tear gas.
hazmat mask, you would say?
Kind of, yeah. Like they would have like it had like canisters on the side, and like I could tell. Like, and I just kind of look at them, and I kind of like chuckle a little, and they kind of give me like the dead stare. And I'm like, "Can I get my smoothie, please?"
Okay, so I got a story to tell you guys. I was at I think it was County Market, okay? And I was
Mhm.
walking at County Market, and I saw this guy, and he was a tall man, and he was wearing nurse outfit, like those blue nurse outfits with little gloves on, right? The like nurse gloves. And
Yeah.
he had this dinky little hazmat mask on his face that looked like he bought it at like a spirit store.
A spirit.
Wait, what's a spirit store?
A spirit store is that bad place that sells Halloween outfits.
Like in Quincy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like yeah, they're
Um,
really overpriced there. They're really
overpriced there.
Remember, I got like
Brenton,
yeah.
how was your day?
It was
First
pretty
of all.
good. I beat Dying Light for the second time,
The second time
and got to insult Dalton for most of the day.
you insulted your good friend, our good friend Dalton.
Yeah.
Can we do a bit on Dalton? I think
We
it would
should
be
do a
tasteful.
No,
I
I
don't-
don't know. No, I don't think that. I don't know. Zilth, I mean,
I don't think Dalton would be upset if we did a bit on him, because I
I mean,
love Dalton.
this
Everybody
is-
loves
this is-
Dalton.
Okay, this isn't a boil. This isn't a boil. This isn't a boil.
We
Not
are not.
boil, not
We are
boiling.
not. We are not gonna insult our
The
good
viewers
friend
don't
Dalton.
know. The viewers don't know Dalton.
The
That's the thing.
viewers don't know who Dalton is, but he. Okay, so I should start. Dalton is a very lovely country boy from the country for sure, raised in corn.
Confederate, Confederate loving.
We're probably gonna talk about him a little bit because I think he has interacted with our lives in an interesting way. Would we be the same without Dalton? I like to think not.
Oh God, no.
I think Dalton hasn't really been affected in my life. He hasn't really done anything.
Quinn is not. So, me and Branton, it was this school year. Wow, we had a gym class, and it was with Dalton. And every morning we would go in and we would talk to Dalton. And he's so lovely to talk to. Like unironically, he's just so
Mhm,
fun to talk to. He has such interesting views on everything. But
I've been
You
yeah,
know-
of him
you know,
and his brother.
and Branton apparently, according to Branton, insulted him. He got to do that.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not insult Dalton? I'm
So
Okay.
yeah, Dalton is such a he's so interesting to talk to. What? How did you insult him, Branton? Real quick
How do you not?
before we
Like-
hop on to our first topic, why did you insult the man?
Because I was talking to Dalton for like 4 hours, so
Yeah.
something comes up, and he's like, "Wow, look at this piece of dirt. It's so rugged." And I'm like,
Rugged?
You're rugged, Dalton. Shut up. Stop insulting that piece of dirt." And
Okay,
that,
Right.
it would happen constantly.
so our first topic that we're gonna talk about is
Just
you two
fast.
wanted to talk about VR a little bit. So what did you two have to say about VR? Because I'm not that acquainted with VR at the moment.
Acquainted.
Yeah, shut up.
Okay.
It's just.
You said something about there was like a rec room. There was a new rec room or
Ooh.
something.
Yeah, Rec Room's been around for a long time. It's a game
it's been
from I
around
think
forever. It feels.
yeah since 2017 or 18.
Brent,
It's insane.
you said you were very mad about Rec Room or something about it.
Mad?
I don't know anything about these odd little games, but you said
I
there was
don't
like a
think I
Rec
said I
Room
was mad.
Pro.
Oh,
Plus.
I'm a wreck. No, not gonna go there. I've
Not-
played the game for almost 2 years now, so
wow.
it's
That's
nice
a,
to see the game go from literally just being a nice basic game
Yeah.
to being a giant game
I
that it is
don't
now.
know
And
anything about Rec Room. What do you do in
so
Rec Room?
Rec Room,
It's pretty
I'm
much
a big Rec
sandbox
Room.
game.
Yeah, it is sandbox, and basically
Uh-huh.
they have their own community. People spend days in there.
Mhm.
It's so, and thing is,
Whoa.
it's for children and adults. There's
Is it
there's
like
different servers
is it
on there
like
for
VR
children.
chat? I've
It's
played a
like
VR
it's like a
chat
VR
before.
chat with like quests,
Oh,
community rooms where people can make their own quest or like
that's
just a bunch of other
interesting.
stuff and
Yeah, and it's for children and adults because it has that cartoonish look, but there's adult stuff on there.
Oh,
I've been on there for about 2 years, same as Branson probably, and I
so
met the critters personally.
whoa,
Met them
wow,
at
really? Are we gonna
yeah,
jump
they're
into this story? I
yeah.
got your little. Do you like Rec Room, Quinn?
I some of it's okay, some of it's not. I don't the creators of the game, they're okay. They're kind of like if you're not important, they don't really care about you, which I mean,
Jesus.
yeah, that's how they are because
Rude.
I don't know Brands met them personally, but I met them personally at a convention VR one time. I mean
Oh,
Rec Room. Because
yeah.
I've been on there for a long time and my name's well known throughout the whole Rec Room server. I know, like
Which you
I just
shouldn't mention your name
I'm
because
not
then
mentioning my name.
yeah.
I'm not mentioning my name because that reason. As but yeah, I'm very well known through there, and some people like me, some people don't. I made enemies. And there's games in Rec Room, and they're so dumb. They have their own Discord and everything, and they're
Yeah.
like I know all the gangs on there. I'm not gonna say their names, but it's
Mhm.
really dumb. It's really dumb.
There's gangs.
And they're not serious gangs. They're
Yeah.
dumb gangs. I'll tell you what. There's no like actual reason because like you can't
You've
take
never been
over.
encountered a real one? They're
And,
terrifying.
I have like in real
Wait,
life.
there are real gangs
Yeah.
in Rec
Mhm.
Room? Whoa.
Yeah,
Are,
yeah. It's not just like
I
preschool
almost
gang.
people
is
tried to recruit.
popular gang there?
Yeah, there's a couple. I
Whoa.
mean,
Popular gang that everybody knows is really there in Rec Room? In Rec Room in VR they're there? Whoa.
yeah,
I
there's
know,
some
right?
gangs in
It's
there,
pretty
and
whack.
what they do is so there you can create your own server in Rec Room,
Yeah.
like your own server, and they can become really popular. And so
Oh.
what some gangs do, they make really popular servers.
Yeah.
Right, and like they get more there's currency in the game, and the more
Uh-huh.
popular, the more currency you get. And because of that, people they make gangs, and so some gangs some servers, and other
Oh.
gangs on different servers. Or they might just fight. They might do PvP, and there's really dumb reasons. Some of them, I remember one gang on there, Shark Gang or whatever. It was really dumb.
Yeah.
They didn't like another game because they sent like some guy like killed them in PvP, and he got all angry. Like it's so
It's
dumb. It's
yeah.
dumb. It's really dumb.
Brenton,
It's VR game.
what is your opinion on Rec Room?
It's pretty epic just because
It's
like
pretty epic.
there's a mix of community like there is with literally every game. You'll either meet like there's a few people in there that I've stayed
Mhm.
friends with constantly from it.
Yeah.
And then there's the people in there that are just
Yeah.
they just suck. They just suck.
Well, it's sort of my experience with VR chat, which used to be a game I really enjoyed. I think I've spent a couple hours on it, where you would occasionally meet interesting people, but most of them were just
Just
people who were like,
like
"I'm in the
trolls.
online world. I can do anything." Like, yeah, okay, but that doesn't mean you're not like the reason you're not being an asshole to people in real life is because it's not because you're restricted by it, it's because that's how you should act, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't change when you're in VR or whatever. But yeah, that's the only view I really have on games like Rec Room or VR chat. Is there's just weird people like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I mean, my own spin on the game, I feel like it could be better. There
Yeah.
is some stuff about the game which I don't like. Honestly, the currency system I don't like because I feel
Oh.
like stuff is too expensive.
Yeah. There's a
Oof.
currency system. That's
Yeah, no,
interesting.
you get tokens and then you can buy like different clothing items or different
Uh-huh.
like hair dyes or accessories. And I swear to God, any of them that look anywhere near cool costs like 8,000 tokens, and you get like 20 tokens for playing a game.
Oh, that's
So
not
it's
great.
no, it's not.
Like it's not just per game. It's just like you like every day. If you get on every day, that's 20 tokens
If you
probably.
get on
And there's
every
daily
day.
challenges, and it's basically you
Yeah.
do that and probably get 50 tokens in general. To
Um,
grind the game a little. I mean, it's alright. That's one. It's so popular. I'll tell you why. It's the only VR game that is I mean,
yeah.
very social. You can do a lot on there, and that's why it's so popular.
Oh,
That's
Mhm.
why there's no other
alright.
game like there's VR chat. Don't get me wrong, VR chat,
Yeah,
but there's
there's
not a lot you
VChat.
can do on VR chat.
That's fair. That's very fair because when
Yeah,
I go
that's
on to VR chat, I go into this lobby and I'll like talk to people for like 5 minutes, and then they'll leave, and I'm like, yeah, okay,
well,
go
not
do that again. Like,
yeah.
there's nothing to it. Uh,
Yeah, that's the thing that people constantly are like, "Oh, well, VR chat's so much better," and it's just like
eh,
VR chat. There's just not. It's just
I
not
mean,
the
on
same.
YouTube, it looks like when like players like Lucy or Molly or other people, VR, famous VR people in the VR community, and they played the game, and it looks so fun. But once you get
uh-huh.
on there, there's nothing really you can do. Maybe for an hour it's pretty fun, and afterwards you kind of like, it's like nothing
All
really
right.
much.
So I think we've milked that topic dry. I don't think you guys have anything else specific to say about Rec Room, would you?
Nope.
I think all right.
Um, that's
So
about it. Bro.
Quinn, I think you wanted to talk about. All right, well, we'll start this out on sort of a more even level. I think one of the big reasons that me and Quinn first got the idea and then talked to Brandon about it was because we wanted to talk about our thoughts on Steven Universe, which we all have thoughts of that show. And, I wanted to make a video talking about it because I'm not done with it. I just finished season 3, and it's unlikely I'll finish it until way later. But I have thoughts upon it right now, and it's been spoiled so much that I pretty much know where the show's going at this point. So I think we all have interesting things to say about it. So
Yeah, we
Quinn,
do.
would you want to start out with this because I think you'd be good to kind of talk about this show.
I've seen every episode, and I mean, Steven Universe is such a fascinating show. And
Yeah.
originally, I think it was pitched to Nickelodeon or some other platform. It was pitched to maybe Disney Channel, Nickelodeon. I don't remember. And I remember they said no. And Cartoon Network, you have no idea how much money they got from Steven Universe. Rebecca
Yeah,
Sugar's
yeah.
worked so hard on this show. She's worked really hard on this show, and
Yeah.
it is a good show. There were some parts where I'm like, really, and there's some parts where I'm like, this is phenomenal.
Well, that's the thing about Steven Universe is that a lot of people criticize it for not doing for like having a weird animation style like Cal Art or for having voice actors that don't typically do animated roles or anything that it's more of a passion project than like a show
Yeah.
that's meant to be taken seriously. It's more like this is something these people have been working on for 10 years that they
And
just
that
wanted to
they've
do.
absolutely fallen in love with their own characters and their own
Yeah.
storylines. That
It's not
it's like you couldn't replace them if you
You
wanted
could
to.
argue maybe it's delusion where they're so enveloped in it that they insist that it's actually like the best show. I don't think that's what it is. I just think they've been working on it for so long that they just want it to exist anyway, regardless of how good it is. And I think it's a fine show. It's just you have to
Yeah.
understand their goal wasn't to make the best show in the world, and people treat it like it is. People treat it like people are talking about it like it's the best thing that's ever made, and it's nobody
Yeah.
says that.
Right.
Branton, did you have specific views on Steven Universe? Really? Do you have
I
any
just
views?
liked it.
Do you have a
I
favorite
just like-
season? I never asked you that. Do you have a favorite season?
Favorite season? It's got to be 4, just because like all the other seasons they're not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, Together Breakfast, hate it. But it's like, but they all have like weak points. In season 4, of course, it has weak points because
Yeah.
like every season's gonna have weak points. But it's just the overall like most progressive season. They just do a lot more. The story arcs are a lot more entertaining, and the end of it doesn't make you feel like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
As
Was
Magnus said.
season 5 as like a finale? Because I know there's the epilogue, but season 5 was sort of
Oh,
the
season
end.
5,
Was
that's what I
that
was
good as an ending?
I thought personally they could let that slide. I think personally that could have slide. I feel like eventually, if that was the only thing, I think eventually they would have made an epilogue,
Yeah.
explain the universe afterwards and what happened, because it is very interesting. Because they were basically fascism. If you don't know what Steven Universe is, guys,
Yeah,
it's
the
basically
main
it's basically
villains of the show are fascists.
I mean basically so the
Effectively.
diamonds, basically diamonds are the gods of the Steven Universe world, and they're the human planet Earth don't really know about this galaxy and cosmos. Diamonds, they conquer planets and make their own base there, and
Yeah.
basically they're in charge. And the diamonds, they are basically God, and people worship them. And there's yellow, there's actually pink, yellow, blue, and then there is white. The head diamond. White is the head diamond. Yellow and blue are kind of second in command, and
Yeah, but
pink
it
was
like kind
the
of goes like yellow's a commander, blue is kind of just like a figure in the public,
mm,
as I would describe it.
And
white.
the white is the leader.
Pretty much like
She's
the
leader.
god of them.
Or
There's
like
also
worship.
and there's
White.
also Pink
She
Diamond.
is Putin.
Now,
It was kind of
before we say anything else, that's the basic plot of the show: is there's diamonds, they rule anything. We're
Oh,
not
that was
actually
the-
going to we're not going to go into detail about the plot of the show for anyone who hasn't finished it like me, but we're more talking about our overall thoughts on the show. We don't want to go too far into it, but yeah, basically, whatever you were saying, the diamonds are fascists.
they are because they
They're just-
basically rule
They're
everything.
Hitler. Nope.
Basically. Basically, and the thing is, like, they never in season 1. I was looking through it. There's hints. Don't get me wrong. There was hints, the diamonds, but it is never brought up until I think season 3. So
Yeah.
there's hints. There's background images of white, pink, yellow, and pink diamonds.
They're like murals almost.
Yes, exactly, in the background, and
But
they
for being
never
the main
bring
villains,
up.
they're not brought up for a while.
Yeah, they made generals and like little soldiers like Paradox. I'm not gonna talk really into her talking to her
Well,
storyline.
my
but
problem
she
with
was-
it is that we don't see enough about the home world. Like within the first 3 seasons at least. I don't know if this changes, but the home world in the modern day, not in the past, because we see a little bit of past. We don't see what the home world is like or what the enemies are doing in any
Yeah.
of the first 3 seasons.
Mhm.
And that's a huge problem because really, if you want to have a show like that where the villains are sort of the main thing, because Steven's always trying to make the villains his friend, right? So hypothetically, the villains should be as focused on as he is, but
yeah,
they're
they
not.
should be a main character.
Yeah, the villains are really
But you
kind of
never see
empty. There's just sort of like, we don't like fusions. That's the character.
Oh well, no. I mean that's.
They
I
get
mean,
defined, but
kind of agree. I kind of agree, but I kind of disagree because I
Oh.
feel like. Okay, I'm gonna get into a little.
Okay.
Paradox is one of the first villains that pops up in the series.
Pretty much.
And
She's one of the
she
most
has her
focused
own
on
role.
at the beginning.
She's focused on a lot. There was like season 4, I think 3, and possibly 2. They focus on her a lot, and I think season 3 they focus
Season
on her a
3
lot.
is there's the farm and stuff.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
so I kind of disagree with that because I feel like they do focus on the films. I think the
But
elite
my
one
problem
they
is,
focus.
in Paradox's case, she has these ideals, but she's so quick to turn on the thought, like the idea of
Yeah.
fusion, that it doesn't really.
Because they've been taught that.
Yeah. She
the idea of change
she
is
so
just-
quickly
just-
goes
oof.
from I hate fusions to fusions are okay.
Oh,
That
guys,
it doesn't feel like we see the enemy's point of view from her, you know?
and
Yeah.
fusion is basically, if people don't know, it's basically like,
Yeah, how do
Fusion
we
is
describe
like-
it's just
that?
Dragon Ball Z.
I mean,
Yeah.
basically it's when like two people like combine to one bigger
Yeah.
person. Like,
And we're not
they-
going to spend that much more time talking about Steven Universe, but
And they're just like one consciousness.
yeah, and
I-
I highly recommend this show. I give it probably
I would
4
recommend this show.
stars.
If
stars
I
out of
had to
5.
put it out of 5, I would give it like a 3.5 because I did
that's fair.
enjoy watching it, but there are a lot of filler
There's
episodes.
there's a lot of things that.
Anyway,
Oh, I mean, you haven't got to the best parts yet.
yeah, I know,
Also,
but
I was reading an interview from Rebecca Sugars, and apparently, like, the universe, the Cartoon Network apparently said they didn't want to be like a plot-driven.
yeah.
Later on, they did. Later on, I think in
That
season
was,
4,
I
they
think, my
did.
biggest problem with the show to sort of close this up is they didn't want it to be plot based at first, and then
Rebecca
they did.
Rebecca Sugars wanted it to be
Yeah,
plot based.
but Cartoon Network was the one who made the decision, and
No,
they
but
couldn't choose.
Here's the thing. Rebecca sent her back secretly behind Cartoon Network's back. And some episodes they made it like in the background when you see white, yellow, blue, and pink.
They
It
would do
just
plot
slowly be
points.
making plot.
That's plot points, and then like secretly they would like bring up
Right.
references, and no one knew what they meant. And then later on in the series, people were like, "Oh, I get why they say that now."
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was an interesting show. It was just kind of mismanaged from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna open up our topics now. So, I think to sort of transition from what we were just talking about Steven Universe, Quinn, you had some thoughts on other shows.
Oh yeah,
such as Adventure Time, and you also said regular show. What were your
Yeah.
thoughts on those, my boy?
Well, I think it's Adventure Time and regular show. I think they're about 10 seasons each. I know Adventure Time was for sure 10
Regular
seasons.
show is a very long show. Oh, by the
It's
way,
very
real
long.
quick, Branton, you haven't
Yeah.
seen either of these, have you?
I've seen some of each, but not enough
Okay.
to know anything about them.
Okay.
Basically, regular show and Adventure Time, they are really good shows. In the beginning, it was regular show kind of in the beginning, and Adventure Time. And there's 10 seasons each. I'm pretty sure. I know for sure Adventure Time seasons. Regular show, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
They
In
were
the beginning, there
very long
was no
shows.
really plot. Adventure Time, there was just a kid and a magic dog going on these adventures.
Mhm.
It shows important characters, but like at the time they're not important. Like there's kind of like they're like,
They're
oh,
just, like,
there's a
fun.
villain, there's a princess, and it's just for fun. Same with regular show, it's fun.
Uh-huh.
But later on in season 4, 3, and 5, and 6, they get in some really good plot stuff and exploring the world, and you see stuff, and there's more character development and more stuff about it. And then 7 through 10 and both shows gets so serious and so good. And I think what these shows did, this is my theory, with Steven Universe, Adventure Time, and regular show. I feel like our generation, I feel like we made all kid like, because when we were younger, kids like that
Yeah.
stuff, the kid stuff.
Because
And
we
eventually-
grew up with these shows, you know.
And then eventually they get
yeah.
more serious.
I was
and
big on
serious.
Adventure Time, a regular show, when I was like 9 or 10.
Yeah, same. And like I feel like they had this plan out where in the beginning there'd be all kiddie, like then as we get older, like when we're 12 and 11, they get
Yeah.
more serious.
I think
When
that's
we're
fair.
13.
That's
Now,
smart.
I when I turned about 11, you know, we stopped using cable, so I didn't have that experience. But you guys, maybe, you know, you did see that. You saw these shows grow more plot based.
Well, they're on Hulu, and I had Hulu when I was.
I see.
Probably
I
did,
did
'cause
not. We
cable
didn't
was-
subscribe to Hulu at the time. Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
it
like
just-
that's just sort of what a lot of cartoon shows do in the modern era. Because look at like Gravity Falls, right? So we start out, and it's a very interesting show. We see like but it's more like a one-off series, you know, one episode, one and done. But there's a little bit of mystery in the background that we don't know if it ever is going to
And
be
eventually it
explained.
becomes this like
Yeah. In the
novel of
next
epic.
season, though, in season 2, it goes more plot based, and then season 3 with the weird Mageddon is, you know, the end. And I
Yeah.
think that's just the formula of the modern cartoon show for like these children is they started out, you know, it's a very lighthearted show. It doesn't have a lot of plot. Maybe they reference a few things once or twice like Steven Universe does in the first season, but they sort of, you know, ease into that like having a plot. But the problem is, you know, when you look back on it, like with Steven Universe, you don't even need to watch the first season, which is why I don't think that formula always works.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there are certain parts of season 1 where you learn about certain stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah. No, I think
I mean-
that was actually something I was surprised by in season 1 is how many times they reference other episodes. Like
Mhm.
just in season 1, I thought it would be more of a one and done, but they reference, you know, the cat episode. They reference the cannons a lot. I just thought it was interesting to see that because they definitely weren't getting daily views like for each episode.
Had to
Yeah,
do it.
so they sort of introduce what I think what these shows do is in their first season they introduce bits that could be greater plot elements, and then, you know, depending on how the show goes, they either expand it into a series with a plot or they don't.
Yeah.
Which
Like
I
this-
think
this
is
been-
an
yeah.
interesting way to go. but it does make the first season suffer a little bit. But for a shorter show like Gravity Falls, it doesn't really. But that's interesting thing to look at.
Yeah.
Branton, you had a
Uh-huh.
bit you wanted to talk about, or at least you told me to write it down in the notes. That was about Terraria, which is a game
I
we've
just
been
wanted to
playing.
mention how great of a game it is.
So, Quinn, and to sort of also speak to the people listening, after this whole quarantine thing went down, me and Branton started playing a game called Terraria quite a lot, and we quite like it.
Even though our internet won't work together.
Yeah, we can't really play multiplayer that well. I love that game so much
Yeah.
because I love games like Zelda and Minecraft, and it's literally those two combined, and
It's
that's
like a
kind of
mix
great.
between them two, yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
And like you think just like simply looking at it with like the art style and kind of like the feel of the game that it would just be like a nice simple like open world like survival game that you're just kind of chilling out. And then it
Yeah.
turns into a giant boss fighting
Yeah.
like arena of a game. And it's just incredible to see it go
Yeah.
from literally like look, I
From
found dirt,
from
that's
like
cool,
sort
to
of
just-
a Minecraft ripoff almost at the start, where it's like build a house, get wood tools, but then it completely does a 180.
yeah,
like,
and then
it's
it's
a
like guess what,
completely-
NPCs,
Quinn,
guess what?
I know you've probably never played a lot of Terraria. The three of us have to eventually.
I think we should.
Oh, yeah.
I played it when I was younger. I remember. I
Yeah, no,
remember
it's like
it.
it's one of those games that
Hey.
like everyone plays on the Xbox 360.
Yeah, I did for
Yeah.
sure.
Give a quick story real quick. So
Uh-huh.
my cousin Gavin, this is probably about he's at this time, he's probably about 5, probably 6. He's around I think 9 or 8 now. So this is a couple years ago. It's probably, and I remember probably 6th grade. I don't know, probably 6th
Yeah.
grade. And I remember he was a big Terraria, is that how you call it? Terraria?
Terraria.
Player, and I remember he wanted me to buy it on my phone, and it was $5. I didn't want to waste my money on that on my phone because I wanted to buy Power Ranger figures. You know how that is.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and so basically he snitches on my mom, and as I'm because my mom once in a while babysits my cousins while their parents go on like vacation, they like to hang out.
Mhm.
And basically, I was awake. It was probably 8 a.m. in the morning, and my mom's probably in the other room, probably chilling, probably smoking a cigar. You know how she does. And,
Smoking a no, no.
and smoking a cigar. And he goes to my mom's like, and he was like, Aunt Lori, and my mom's like, yeah, Gavin. And he was like, Quinn's not playing with me. Quinn's not playing. My mom goes, Quinn fits in hell. Get your ass in the other room now. I'm like, oh snap, and I go in the other room.
Yeah.
My mom calls me in the room. She's like, Quinn, get your ass in here. So I go in the room. She's like, what's wrong? Why aren't you playing with cousin? I'm like, wants me to buy this game. It's $5. Mom's like, oh, you're fine then. But for cousin Gavin, play on PS3.
Play with your cousin. It's his turn on the Xbox.
We gotta talk about family members. Sometime we gotta talk about family members.
That's a big thing.
Alright.
All right,
Okay.
so to sort of end this off at the 30-minute mark, to sort of have one little thing we could talk about. I think it's impossible to avoid talking about the state of the world that we're in
Yeah.
as we record. As of the time of recording, this whole virus thing is getting real bad. And I know in like a year this will be super dated when you listen to it, but hey, we gotta talk about quarantine. Cause, oh my god. There's some stupid people out there, folks. There's some dumb fools. I'd like to
Freaking
take a second.
Idiot heads.
Alright, just to straighten these people out, because this upsets me so much. These people, they wear these medical masks, right?
Yeah.
These stupid paper masks. So, what people don't understand about these masks is that they're for the people who have this virus. And they do help when the people who have coronavirus wear it. But if you're wearing it, you're not protecting yourself. It doesn't go both ways. And that's something these people don't understand because, say for example, if a person with coronavirus is wearing a mask and they cough into the mask, the
Mhm.
cough doesn't get on anybody.
'Cause it's in
But
the mask,
if
yeah.
you're wearing a mask and say, hypothetically, they're not, they cough on you, mask ain't gonna do nothing because you're gonna get it in your nose. You're gonna breathe it in anyway, right? It doesn't go both ways. And these
why you
people,
just gonna
these
breathe?
stupid people, don't understand that. They go, oh, I don't got coronavirus, but if I wear the mask, I'm going to be all right. No, you're not. Like, that, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. It's even more baffling to see these people, like we talked at the start of this, like, wearing hazmat masks or something like that. Like, and a lot of people don't do that, but, like, that, just come on.
State of Illinois, I think it's gonna be in a couple of days. I think they're requiring you like wear a mask everywhere you go. Like you're requiring. I think you can get like fined or possibly get arrested.
Now, I think that's fair because there are some people who are going to have coronavirus who aren't going to
It's
tell
really-
anyone.
it's
walk around
really
with
bad.
it.
If you force
Illinois.
everybody to wear the mask, I'm fine with that because then nobody will know who actually has it. But until we're all forced to wear the masks, leave the masks to the people who need them, maybe. Like, is
Yeah,
that so hard?
I was at Trader Joe's a couple weeks ago, and I was there,
Yeah.
and I think Magus, I think you know about this. There was a guy there
Yeah.
wearing a plague mask from from the
A
14th,
full
15th.
plague doctor mask.
Like yeah, and I kind of like
You
looked
just
at
wanted to play
him.
Secret Laboratory, man.
Yeah.
And
Seriously.
like people are so dumb because they're wearing like why would you wear a plague mask?
Now, to be
I
fair,
guess.
if I bought into the concept that this really was like the next bubonic plague, I'd
Yeah.
totally be wearing a plague doctor outfit. Just go with the
Well,
aesthetic, dude.
I have a
but-
gas mask.
Like, it's not
Fine.
that serious.
I have a tear gas mask in my room, and I'm thinking next time I go out, I'm just gonna wear that. It's like I'll send you I'll send you guys pics of it. And like I'm just thinking, cause like I mean, why not? I mean, I have a mask. It works. Fully functional.
Completely functional.
It is. I mean, it's from the
Fully
90s,
functional.
but
That's the kind of
It's from
fight
the night.
with-
Alright. So, yeah.
I mean,
That's.
just-
We just had
That's
to.
something.
We have to do a bit about the state of the world. We
Bit.
can't avoid that.
A bit.
Yeah, it's a bit.
The state of the world, just a bit. Nope.
The state of the world is God's bit.
I don't know. Like, I honestly think that, like, personally, I think the plague and, like, you know, I'm talking like the plague back in the
Yeah.
1400s. I think God is just angry at the world. Because I was reading the Bible and he was mad at the world. Like, I'm being serious. Like,
Alright.
he was so mad at the world how much sin it had. He flooded the world in the Bible. Like, he flooded the whole world. And Moses was the only man to survive. In my opinion, I think God is getting rid of, I don't know, it might be just me, but I feel like he's getting rid of the sinful people and keeping the holy ones or the people that have, like, I don't know, I feel like he's just getting rid of, like, certain people.
I and Britton do not believe in God. But
Okay.
if I did, I would agree with you.
I feel like God.
If I agreed on the concept of a God in the first place, yeah,
Of a
I'd assume that
higher
what
power.
he's doing.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
And
I
I
think
might be a little.
I
might
think
be a little
that's a good bit to end on, everybody. Brenton, Quinn, closing statements.
About the God thing, I might be
Yeah.
wrong. I mean, I just said that
You
out
might be
loud.
wrong.
I was just thinking out loud. That might
Alright.
not be my 100%.
Okay, so
opinion.
before we end, Quinn's gotta let everybody know he's not insane. Brenton,
All I gotta say is help.
all Brenton's gotta say is help. Alright, we're alright. So
That's
this has been a pretty successful first episode. Maybe we'll make another one.